Parks policy.
This one I had brought in front of you back in the beginning of March in terms of a tobacco-free parks policy. Again, we have kind of a draft policy on the back. If this is something the council wants to move forward with, we'll probably incorporate this into our other parks policies, so we just have the one. I did include some additional literature from tobacco-free youth recreation in regards to tobacco-free parks. Some of the highlights that I wanted to address in this particular one is on the second page, there's a number of communities that already have tobacco-free outdoor recreational facilities. And we've got Alexandria, Baxter, Brainerd, Duluth, Ramsey, Sartell, Spicer, St. Cloud. So a lot of communities around the area and of similar size that currently have this in place. And that, the policies are currently working. 88% of the parks directors have indicated that there's no change in park usage, and that there's almost a 60% report there's cleaner park areas. So the main goal of this really would be to make sure the parks don't have litter, cigarette butts, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to open it up for discussion just to see how the council's feeling is towards something as this, and give staff direction on which way we want to pursue. If you want us to pull together an actual policy to incorporate into our other one, or what your feelings are on it.
Well, Greg, I was looking at number 5 on the bottom of the policy. Any person found violating this policy is subject to immediate ejection from the facility. So if you're smoking in the park, you're gonna ask them to leave. You come back tomorrow and smoke in the park, you ask them to leave.
Sure.
So there's no consequences?
There's no fine associated with it. Correct. It's more, it's a policy that we would have if they would be asked to leave the facility or put out the cigarette at that point.
Reagan, as far as enforcement, has Chief Shermer's said anything about it, about how we're going to enforce this or monitor it? I'm sure they're not going to have nothing to take out of it.
True.
It just, to me, it seems like it's going to be hard to enforce and maintain.
Right. It's going to be more complaint driven. If there's somebody that's smoking, obviously with the no smoking sign at the park, most people are going to respect that. There's going to be a few that aren't. And ideally, if there's other patrons there, they would remind them that it is a no smoking park. But ultimately, it would come down to if they've been asked and they still don't put it out there in the complaint room, where the police would then be called to.
And we had it in Brainerd when I was up there, and I don't recall any issues. There's usually someone around that's one of the part-time staffers that's there. We have people that are running our rent programs. You just tell them to put it out, and people usually do it. It's pretty self-regulating, so we didn't have a big issue with it.
I just don't have to even know Maple Island Park, as we kind of walk through there by the one park bench, I bet doesn't have a carton of cigarette butts laying on the ground beside it, so, it's,
There's all the rec programs is where we have the issues with the kids.
On that last page, it says,
oh, good, I just didn't see every park, we would start picking and choosing parks.
on the last page, it says our existing policy is working. The communities who have this, and 88% of park directors reported no change in the park usage. 71 reported less smoking in parks. 58% reported cleaner park areas. So it seems like the program works with just putting up signs saying it's illegal. So I think a lot of people will comply because they don't want to just go up publicly and do things that are going against the law. So I think it will benefit.
Reagan, do you know how current this is? Because I see up to 100 signs for community free.
Yeah, this is already a couple years old. I don't remember the date on it, but it's already a couple years old. I want to say it was June of 2006 is when this was printed.
So it's a deal breaker, but it'd be sure nice to be able to get hold.
True. And we would explore that at that time if the council wanted to move forward with it. But this did go in front of the park board, and they did recommend approval of this, but I wanted to obviously run through the work session here before we go too far with it.
Next agenda.
I would think so.
Okay.
Golf course updates?